Morning. Let's do another update, shall we? All right, so the next paper I want to mention is, let's see. There it is. Yeah. So it's about SARS coronavirus receptor levels and the way that they are controlled. And it is quite a big paper. It has a lot of experiments in it and some theoretical and a lot of practical experiments. And what it looks like is that testosterone, or 5-hydroxytestosterone, this is one of the things that makes males male. This is going to actually raise the amount of ACE2, which is the virus receptor, angiotensin converting enzyme 2, and it can raise it in a number of different types of cells that they look at in here. So testosterone raises the amount of ACE2, which can potentially make it easier for viruses to infect cells. Now, I don't remember that they actually tested whether it does make virus easier to infect cells. I think they're looking mostly at the level of the receptor. Yeah, they may not have the facilities to be able to do live virus experiments like that. The other thing they look at is whether a blocker of testosterone, so there's a thing called an androgen receptor, and that's what's going to grab testosterone and then it's going to signal and do different things inside the cell. If you block that thing so the testosterone can't bind anymore, it actually drops the amount of ACE2 in some cells. So people are looking at this as possibly a way to, what people really want is something like a dimmer switch. With biology, we tend to get kind of on and off switches. And having no ACE2 would be a very bad thing for the person, because ACE2 is one of your mechanisms for actually lowering blood pressure. It's kind of at the end of a particular chain. Renin-angiotensin chain, it's called. So we don't want to get rid of it completely, but the idea is if you could turn it down in some tissues, at least temporarily, then theoretically that could make it harder for the virus to grow, and as long as it doesn't cause an enormous effect on the person, or if there are other ways, like other medicines that could keep blood pressure down while you're removing temporarily the amount of the virus receptor, then yeah, potentially a person can benefit. So it's a very interesting preprint. Again, not yet a paper, but yeah, this is something that has been tried a little bit. I think what I've seen is that people have tried adding estrogen, and that's not likely to actually do anything. I don't think there's any science showing that that decreases ACE2 levels. Right now, this is echoing the science that I've seen that says that it's testosterone that's raising ACE2 levels. I also think that the idea of taking testosterone out of people to prevent death from COVID would absolutely drive people nuts. This would, yeah, just make people go crazy. And so it's a thing that might work. I don't know if it's a thing that can practically work for that reason. The biggest variable in any experiment is always the personal variable, no matter where you are. Yeah. And it's hard to minimize the personal variable, but that's just what people are. That's all we can. That's all we've got. That's all we can work with. So that's a Dr. Ben update. Thank you very much.